What's guys? Thank you for listening to the Buctober podcast where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh. Today is July 25th. I hope you had a great day off. Bucs have one more chance to go undefeated during Shark Week. It's Friday. You know what that means.
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and jeans.
Good Friday morning.
Yeah, it is a good morning there, little man.
Maybe you're listening to this a little bit later in the morning. Good afternoon, good after evening, good evening to you. But you're probably watching the game if it's the evening, so that's probably not it. Pirates had a day off. We do have some minor league updates to go over, and then we'll talk about the weekend series here in today's show. Connor Griffin is MLB's number one prospect. So what, some will say. Listen, this is really impressive. So for context, Roman Anthony for the Boston Red Sox prospect was the number one overall prospect. He's in the major leagues. He just graduated from prospect status, and that puts Connor Griffin, who was recently moved to number 2, up to number 1. He was the 9th overall pick last year. And there were conversations about how they weren't sure that the swing path and whatever was going to work. Ceiling's very high, but they just weren't sure. He changed his swing before he played in any professional game this year, and it's been unbelievable and kind of propelled him to this, to earning this spot. 324 right now, 400 on base, 511 slugging, 13 homers, and 42 steals already between low A and high A. That's not a typo. And even though I'm saying that, there is part of me that says, I have to look this up. There's no way that this is real, right? But no, we're right in it, man. He's been playing above average shortstop. And so the book is he's a plus defender at short and a possible gold glover in center field. He's mostly played short. There has been some center field in there. Certainly was all center field in spring training. Center field is one of those places that he says, well, this is where I'm comfortable. This is where I can just go out and play and not have to think much about it. Shortstop, he's still a plus defender, and I think that sometimes we want to discredit what he does in shortstop when we hear that, but he's a good shortstop, and he absolutely can play shortstop. Listen, it's not crazy to think that this dude could debut next season. But they have to play the games, obviously, in every situation. We can say prospects are great, they're wonderful, all that stuff. They have to play the games. They have to continue to get better, to move up. I think that a move to AA is probably in the near-ish future, and then he can finish the season off in AA, starting there next year, AAA, and who knows how far he can go. If next year goes the way this year's going, he will debut next year. It's going to be really interesting to watch this dude progress and see how he goes about the next year and a half at this point. So in Altoona, Johan Oviedo just pitched 5 innings last night for Altoona, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 5 strikeouts, no walks, 63 pitches. Side note, Zach Fruit pitched for the Bay Sox. And Keely, who you hear at the end of every show, was in here, saw his name, and just said his parents should have named him Barry. So there's your laugh for today. There you go. But Oviedo is making some progress there. I've been thinking that it would be a good idea to get Oviedo up when he's ready, but to get him up in the bullpen rather than in the rotation. But they're continuing to stretch him out. 63 pitches. I don't know. I think obviously you keep your options open. And so you see how it goes. But ultimately, I think it's a nice soft landing if we could use him in the bullpen down the stretch and have him kind of eased back into action by not throwing deep into games. So I'm assuming that the bullpen is going to take a hit. Caleb Ferguson is likely being traded. He's a free agent after this year. Santana and Bednar are sought after right now. They do have next year controlled, so they don't have to be moved. But if they are, and if any combination or all three of them are moved, they're going to need help. The Pirates are. And if you don't want this thing to crash and burn, then Oviedo would be a good option to be called up and pitch out of the bullpen for that time while he's still kind of coming back from the Tommy John and everything that he's gone through the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever. Don't be surprised if he doesn't, if Colin Holderman gets called up, maybe his last chance with the team. I have no idea. Listen to this. Colin Holderman's a name we haven't talked about very much, and we know that Bednar went down. He kind of fixed some things. Colin Holderman's on a different path. Since being sent down, he's only pitched in 6.2 innings, and he's given up 7 runs and a 3.57 average against. That's a 9.45 ERA since being sent down. He's only had 1 outing that he didn't give up a run. If they deplete the pen and have to call him up, man, it could be a disaster. It really could be. He's just not there. He's not ready to come back. I'm not sure. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 after the season this year in October. I don't know. I don't know where you go from here, but I would imagine that this isn't a guy that I'm putting on the roster next year. At least if I don't have to. He's going to be one of the first ones off. I would think, I don't know, maybe they're seeing something else, but you would have to think so. On the flip side, there's another guy who pitched last night. Bubba Chandler pitched for Indy, and he went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, a couple walks, 7 strikeouts, 92 pitches. The second walk of that game was his last batter. His 6th inning was where all the damage was done. He had gone through 5 clean. In the 6th, he gave up a single to Akil Baddoo, and then Hao-Yu Lee hit a triple. He gets a strikeout, a sac fly to center, and then they move on to Darrell Hicks after the walk. So he had 2 outs. He was ready to finish the inning. Looked like he wanted to finish the inning, but they moved on to the bullpen after he walked a guy. And so 5 2/3, and those 2 runs just came in that 6th inning, and otherwise was really good. Listen, he's starting to get that swagger back. There was some confidence he was pitching with. He had 100 miles an hour, I think 3 times in the game, 99 several times. He's definitely putting the tough month of June behind him. June, he had an 8.53 ERA. It was a lot of struggle, but it seemed like whatever it was, he's gotten through it. He's battled back. That's a good lesson that you want to see a young pitcher learn while he's in the minors. If he's just dominating, and never gets an opportunity to struggle, he gets called up to the major leagues, and then it comes. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing. What has he done in his 4 starts in July? 21 1/3, 22 hits, 7 runs, 8 walks, 24 strikeouts. A couple of those numbers stand out, but it's a 2.95 ERA. It's that 1.41 whip. But I'm telling you, those numbers are heavily brought down by one game in the middle of those where he went 3.2 innings pitched and gave up 5 runs. There were hits, a couple walks in that one. So I'm thinking, okay, that one start. The other 3, 6 scoreless, and last night's game that I just read. So back-to-back starts with 6 scoreless innings, and then kind of had a stinker and bounced back for the game that that we saw, or that I just mentioned for last night. So good things from Bubba Chandler, and we're going to need it. Heaney's going to be moved. Certainly, if more than one starter is moved, I would imagine Bubba Chandler's probably getting a call if he's starting to look good like this. And I think it's important that they do give him a cup of coffee this year if they want to rely on him moving into next season. Hunter Barco, another guy that I think should probably get a look. He goes Saturday for Indy, so I'll be paying attention to that one as well. So let's talk about the pitching matchups for this weekend. Against the Diamondbacks. Drew a blank there. Against the Diamondbacks. Tonight is Mike Burrows and Ryan Nelson. Nelson pitched against the Pirates back in May. We'll have two guys we'll face that we faced back in May. 6 2/3, 4 hits, no runs, 4 strikeouts, and 84 pitches for Nelson the last time he faced the Pirates. This month he has a 3.18 ERA and a 3.52 overall. So kind of hot coming into Friday's game for Ryan Nelson. Saturday, Andrew Heaney, Merrill Kelly, 3.32 ERA for Kelly. He's been pitching to a sub-3 ERA for the last 2 months. If there's a game that looks like it's swinging completely towards the Diamondbacks, it would be Saturday's matchup. So Friday, pretty important for Mike Burrows to have a good outing. And Saturday, who knows? If Andrew Heaney can bounce back, maybe that is about everything you need to see if you're a team trying to maybe acquire Heaney. And then Sunday, the door or the momentum swings completely in the opposite direction as Paul Skeens goes up against Zach Gallen. Zach Gallen has a 5.58 ERA. Thought this dude was destined to be stardom. Maybe still is, but it's been a rough year for him. He started against the Pirates in May too. 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned, walked 3, struck out 3, 92 pitches. So the Pirates have gotten to him once this year. You'd hope to see them be able to get to him again, and all they really need to do is get about 3 runs, and that should be enough for Paul Skeens. The Diamondbacks just sent Josh Naylor to the Seattle Mariners for 2 pitchers, minor league pitchers, and there's been a lot of rumors going around that Gino Suarez is the next to be on the move as well. Could happen during this series. Man, this could impact what this team looks like. Anytime the front office is trading players at this time of the year, it's the sinking reality that they're sort of packing it in for the season, right? The Pirates know this feeling all too well, except for the Pirates, it's a little bit different, right? They've known this for quite a while. And for the Diamondbacks, it's maybe a little bit fresh. There was still some options. If they could have gone on a hot streak, maybe they'd be buyers. Listen, they're 5-50, they're 5-53. They're 50-53, 5 games out of the wild card. But they'd have to leapfrog 4 teams to get into the playoff picture. So it seems like they're battling it. 2 of those teams are in their own division, in the Padres and the Giants. The Cardinals, I think they probably could get over, but there's more teams there. The Reds are in the mix, the Giants, like I said. And then the teams that are already there, the Cubs, and the other team, the Phillies. I was like, who else is there? And the Phillies. Phillies or Mets. I'm not sure which one's leading the division right now. Do I have this? I do have this. The Mets right now are in the division. They're leading the division. So the Phillies and the Cubs are the other 2 teams. And really the Mets are only a half game above the Phillies. So I forgive myself for not knowing which one was in the driver's seat there. But yeah, I mean, the Diamondbacks needing to crawl over those teams and having a couple of guys on the expired years of their contract, the pitching hasn't really been what they'd hoped it would be. So I think it makes sense that they would make a move. It's worth dealing some guys who aren't going to be around next year anyway, but it is kind of that realization that it's already starting to happen. You've already lost Josh Naylor. You just brought him in for this season thinking that you might have a run in you. So, I don't know. This is a series that can be won by the Pirates. And if they do, then they win a homestand, despite starting the whole thing off by being swept by a bad team in the White Sox. They have put themselves in position that if you win this series against the Diamondbacks at home, and we're talking about the Pirates who have really surprisingly been a decent team at home. 5 games over 500 right now at 29-24. So there's definitely a chance that they do come away with a series win this weekend, win the homestand, which really starts off the second half decent. As far as what you would want this team to do, right? We're talking about a team who was on pace they're on pace to be slightly below 100 losses. If this thing makes a turn for the worse and we get another 100 losses, I think that number just represents something that you just don't want. And I know that in the grand scheme of things, 98 losses is not much different. If they do get to that point of 98 losses, I think right now the winning percentage has them at like 95 or 96 losses, and none of that is good. This team was supposed to be around 500. They've played very poorly, and they didn't really add anything of value. I know Fam's been okay lately, but he was so bad before that he's not quite even made up for how bad it was. So either way, it's going to be an interesting weekend. Baseball's back after a night off. Shark Week's over, although there are still shows that I haven't really gotten an opportunity to watch. So we're still going to catch up on Shark Week, but I won't be bothering you much more about Shark Week. I've had fun with that, but I know that you guys have had enough. You've had plenty of it. So that's all for today, guys. It's the weekend. It is
Friday.
And it's Hawaiian Shirt Day and all those things, so you know what to do. But Pirates going to get a series win this weekend against the Diamondbacks. I'm going to call that. Maybe Andrew Heaney actually throws a gem. Wouldn't that be something? I don't know. Put down in the comments if you think the Pirates will make a trade this weekend. Don't cheat. You have to make that comment on Friday. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Sunday for the live show. Let's go, Bucs.
Thanks for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Subscribing to your platform of choice is the best way to be notified for new episodes. And now, new episodes every weekday. Remember, live shows with my dad and Uncle Jake are Sundays at 9 p.m. Subscribe to the YouTube channel and join them in the live chat every Sunday. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2 Buctober. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucs.
Friday is Hawaiian Shirt Day. So, if you want to, go ahead and wear a Hawaiian shirt and a jeans.